Previously on The Walking Dead.
Fucking elements. Yo, Adil. Adil, look this way.
Everyone look on the screen.
Why, how do you zoom in?
ज्यादा तारीफें ना करें, लोग समझेंगे मैंने आपको अपनी तारीफें करने के लिए बिठाया यहाँ पे।
फिर आगे जैसे पूछा, मैं आलिम नहीं हूँ, मैं एक तालिब इल्म हूँ, बहुत छोटा सा तालिब इल्म हूँ। आप लोग उलेमा तो मुफ्ती हजरात आप लोग हैं, मैं तो अभी तक पढ़ रहा हूँ। मैं कभी भी ये कह नहीं सकता कि मैं आलिम बना, क्योंकि जब मैं आप जैसे हजरात को देखता हूँ और आपका इल्म देखता हूँ तो फिर अपने आप को जब देखता हूँ तो पता लगता है कि कितना जाहिल हूँ।
وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم من وقر صاحب بدعة فقد أعان على هدم الإسلام.
والله Sheikh, I feel shy to even ask you.
Please, go ahead.
Wallahi,
It's for the
Sheikh.
benefit of those who see.
Sheikh, anything I ask now is just going to be ta'keed, just going to be emphasis on what you've already said. Wallahi Sheikh, I feel shy to even ask you.
Please.
It's the munafaqat and hypocrisy, just what he did yesterday in his podcast, where he's sitting with Dawaman, referring to Mufti Tariq Masood as having errors in his aqidah, in his fiqh, etc., all the rest of it. But he's going on to his podcast with Mufti Tariq Masood and telling him, you lot are scholars and we're ignorant and we respect you people. Is this what you call respect? And then you come down here and you blast him like that.
Uthman bin Farooq, he called us after we made that video, and he put something to us, and based on this we made an agreement. So let's see if he fulfills this agreement. Obviously he's being watched, monitored, and if he does not stick to it, وَإِن تَعُودُوا نَعُدْ, we will continue if he does not stick to his agreement.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
What you gonna do when Shaitan don't come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do? Yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? They not give me no break. Police not giving no break. That old soldier man not give you no break. Not even in your eyes, you not give me no break. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
يقول السائل: هل عدم الرد على أهل البدع وكتمان باطلهم والدفاع عنهم يعتبر من الغش للمسلمين؟
هذا من أكبر الغش للمسلمين، السكوت عن أهل البدع وعدم بيان بدعهم، هذا من الغش للمسلمين. فإذا انضاف إلى هذا أنه يمدحهم ويثني عليهم فهذا أشد وأنكر والعياذ بالله. فالواجب على من عنده علم أن يبين البدع والمحدثات وأن ينهى عنها ويحذر منها ولا يسكت. السكوت هذا من الكتمان. إن الذين يكتمون ما أنزلنا من البينات والهدى من بعد ما بيناه للناس في الكتاب أولئك يلعنهم الله أولئك يلعنهم الله أولئك يلعنهم الله ويلعنهم اللاعنون إلا الذين تابوا وأصلحوا وبينوا فأولئك أتوب عليهم وأنا التواب الرحيم. لا يجوز للمسلم الذي عنده علم أن يسكت على البدع والمخالفات ولا يبينها للناس، لأنه إذا سكت احتج الناس به وقالوا لو كان هذا محرما أو ممنوعا ما سكت العالم الفلاني وهو يراه. نعم.
Uthman bin Farooq, he called us after we made that video, and he put something to us, and based on this we made an agreement. So let's see if he fulfills this agreement. Obviously he's being watched, monitored, and if he does not stick to it, وَإِن تَعُودُوا نَعُدْ, we will continue if he does not stick to his agreement.
MashaAllah. A Sufi was telling our brother here, slip of tongue, sorry guys, was telling this brother here that you cannot reject fabricated ahadith and da'if ahadith because there is a percentage of them that might be true. Is that the way? Islam is not based on shak, it's based on yaqeen. We don't ascribe things to the Prophet ﷺ based on doubt. Fabricated ahadith, mawdu' ahadith, many of them, we know their lies. We know who said them. We know who fabricated them. We know when they were unfortunately and incorrectly attributed to the Prophet ﷺ. Then you have mawdu', from mawdu' you have mu'allaq, you have matruk, you have munkar, you have all types of very weak ahadith. And it is not permissible for us to attribute those to the Prophet ﷺ. Those are extremely weak. Then sometimes you have a lighter weakness like a mursal hadith and so on. And we do not put our aqidah or manhaj or masail on those. Rather, those can sometimes be used as supporting evidences or used for fada'il and so on. But that all takes scholarly work to understand. My question to the Goofy would be, Sufi, I'm sorry. Is that, are we...
Sheikh Abu Usama, Wallahi, I love Uthman. But we have people here who may be on the Sufi tariqah right now because that's where they are right now. Some of us used to be Sufis and other things, and now Allah blessed us to come to the realization of the importance of the Sunnah. So we don't want anyone in this masjid to feel offended. We take that back. Goofy Sufi, we're going to take that back. We don't do that. So right now, we're going to pass a bucket out right now. Pass that bucket out.
We getting
Goofy Sufi.
We getting
Goofy Sufi.
Now, regarding Deoband, I know you may have studied with some Deobandis, but then I'm sure, and I have as well. I started out my own studies originally with Deobandis as well. You do realize that within that umbrella there's a lot of differences.
Yeah.
Right? Amongst Deobandis there are those that teach things like Wahdatul Wujud, that Allah is in things, and and obviously we would condemn that because that is a very clear aqidah violation.
Yeah. So there is a wide diversity of aqa'id, and there's even some who are liberals, and they are pushing liberalism and feminism and.
Yeah,
so that's a diversity amongst them. Just like there's a huge diversity among Salafi.
But usually amongst those who ascribe to Salafiyya, regarding the Aqidah in Sifat of Allah or Wahdatul Wujud, you will find...
There's big debates on these issues, as you know.
On the Sifat of Allah among Salafis?
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, we can get into details, but there are debates on this topic amongst, you talk to some of the groups on Facebook and between...
I don't care about Facebook or Twitter, but like if you take Sheikh Ibn Baz, Sheikh Ibn Uthman, Sheikh Albani, Sheikh Salih Al-Fawzan, and this is the contemporary if you take it back, regarding the core of the Aqidah, alhamdulillah, those who ascribe themselves to disagree on fiqh issues, they may disagree on political issues and so on, but this is something you will not find somebody that I know of that will be Salafi, that will promote Wahdatul Wujud, or going to Qubur or something like this, right?
Yeah, but the Deobandi scholars I follow don't promote going to Qubur either.
But that's the clarification that we were trying to make. Generally, obviously you know about the Hayatis and you know about a lot of these things that are...
Yeah, the ones that I followed aren't teaching Wahdatul Wujud or going to Qubur or things like this.
He's on the manhaj.
You knew that, but when your words go out, people that didn't have that clarification, they took the words, like I can tell you that I've been in personally places where the people representing the Deobandi school, in the end it's not a Aqidah, it's a school, were teaching things that I know you wouldn't be comfortable with, right? Having said that, I know like for example the Panchpiris and Mamatis, what they're called, and they're sticking to the, mashallah, much better points in Aqidah and things is also there, right? But those are things that sometimes we have to clarify because people take words very generally.
Well, you said you studied with them, so did you benefit from them, from your teachers that you studied with?
Sure, there are things that I benefited from, and there are things that they taught me that were wrong, that harmed me. And later I had to, alhamdulillah, change from it, right? Many things like, the wearing the ta'weez and things like this that were taught to me, to a point where some of those ta'weez would have a kalamat of shirk in them, right?
So Deobandi school is a system of madaris.
Yes.
Hundreds, maybe thousands.
Exactly.
And the amount of graduates that they have are also in the hundreds of thousands. But that doesn't mean that every, ta'weez is not something that they teach in the curriculum of Deoband.
So that's exactly my point, is when you praise Deoband generally, people take that to be for that whole curriculum together.
Well, if you praise Salafiyya generally, there are also certain terrorist groups that also claim to be Salafi. Does that mean that you're praising ISIS if you praise Salafiyya?
No, you're right.
So,
but I think when we're clear about our condemning of ISIS, right, which we've been very clear and explicit, and the Khawarij, and then we praise the manhaj of Salafiyya, sticking to the Quran and Sunnah, then I think that's very clear. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly the motto of Deoband, is following the Quran and Sunnah on the understanding of the Salaf.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly the motto of Deoband, is following the Quran and Sunnah on the understanding of the Salaf. They also have the same exact...
He's on the manhaj. He's on the manhaj.
Have the same exact, slogan.
But for example, in issues of whether Rasulullah is physically alive.
Sufi alert. Sufi alert. Sufi alert. Wahhabi detected. Wahhabi detected. All Sufis report to nearest shrine. Sufi alert. Sufi alert. Sufi alert. Wahhabi detected.
Meeting people.
I think that's a Braille-view position.
No, it's not.
Uthman bin Farooq, quick message to you. You've broken your agreement, number one. You've broken your agreement you made with us on the phone. Till now, as far as I remember, we have not come out with against you since that time. Then because your agreement with us is broken, you've broken it. Because you've brought out sectarianism. So now, either you continue, holding the Bible in your hand and doing your stuff, or you put the Bible aside, my friend. Now you're going to have to be very, 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 very busy with us for the next months or possibly years, right? You've made claims now regarding the life of the prophets in their graves. This will be answered.
My brothers, if I die tomorrow, I want to get this message to you.
Listen to me carefully. Do not say that I didn't tell you. Do not say I didn't tell you. Our mother Aisha is listening in her grave. My brothers, it is the Aqidah. It is the belief, the fundamental belief that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is alive in his grave. Rasulullah is alive in his grave. And Allah ki qasam, we are standing here, but this information is being received by Rasulullah. He is being told that his ghulams, he is being told that his servants are standing here. Rasulullah is alive in his grave. Rasulullah is probably crying in his grave. Rasulullah is high in his grave.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: من كذب علي متعمدا فليتبوأ مقعده من النار.
Rasulullah is alive in his grave. Rasulullah is probably crying in his grave. Rasulullah is high in his grave.
I've said very clearly that I follow Athari Aqidah, but I appreciate other manahij for their contribution to Islam.
Rasulullah is alive in his grave.
And it is in our best interest as an ummah to unite with other Orthodox Sunni Muslims.
Rasulullah is probably crying in his grave.
We unite with them and we work with them while acknowledging the differences, while discussing the differences, openly clarifying the differences so everyone is aware. Sorry to interrupt, Mawlana.
Haqiqatju.
But we can still work together. We can have a conference and there could be a speaker who is from that kind of manhaj.
Rasulullah is high in his grave.
On a topic that is not Aqidah, for example, or not on Wahdatul Wujud.
اجتمعوا فيما اتفقنا عليه ويعذر بعضنا بعضا فيما اختلفنا فيه.
In these kumbaya sessions at their Muslim conventions, I guess I'm becoming the compassionate imam now.
Those who are rejectors of Hayatul Anbiya, okay, in their graves, whether you want to call them Mamatis, whether you want to call them Panjpiris, they have nothing to do with the ulama of Deoband. Whether their teachers have studied there under Allama Kashmiri rahimahullah or not, whether they're Panjpiris or whatever they are not. I don't want to even use the word they are not Deobandi. Yeah, they are not even from Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. End of story.
End of story.
They are not Sunni, and our scholars have made this very clear.
If you want us to respect you, if you want us to consider your dawah, you need to consider your dawah yourself and leave all these polemics. Don't discuss Barelvis, don't discuss Deobandis, don't discuss these Salafi issues, Aqidah issues, these within Islam. Leave this, stick to your dawah, and we'll leave you alone. This was the condition. So he phoned us. He phoned us, Brother Farid gave him Maulana Uthman's number, and then I was also on the call. He phoned us and he made a promise that, look, we're going to leave this. I'm going to stick to my dawah, calling, Christians, debating with Christians and all the rest of it. Now, that was the condition. Yes, this was the condition that he isn't going to touch on this. He made a promise. He even he started speaking to us about some book that he's writing, and he wants us to check a dawah handbook. And even that, he said he's not going to bring in these issues. He's not going to talk about these issues.
He says any difference between the Atharis, Maturidis, and the Asha'ira. He said, I'm not going to speak about them. Only the common things in Islam. And not only that, and inshallah we're going to play that snippet. He said to us that you brothers can also review it for me as well. And you can actually check it before I release it. So he wants us to check his book for him, right? Regarding Islam. Now this is Islamic material. And what he's going to be saying to Daniel Haqiqatju about us, obviously it concerns us as well. And the accusations, it just shows this person's hypocrisy. Rather, with Mufti Tariq Masood, you're saying,
I am a jahil.
I'm
and
jahil.
Mufti Sahib,
You're
I'm
a big
jahil,
alim.
and you're a very big alim. You're a allama. You're fulan teen. You're this, that. I'm a jahil. I'm nothing. So when you come in front of us, you're like a mouse. When you were speaking to me and Maulana Uthman, you should have seen how you were speaking.
Yeah, you were with Mufti Tariq Masood, right? Who, by the way, doesn't represent us, but he's seen as a famous YouTuber. How come you didn't bring these things up with him? There you were saying, I'm a jahil and you're an alim.
Yeah.
So it looks like this brother has a two-faced thing. Behind the scene he says one thing, and then elsewhere, and now it looks like he's forgot everything he's already previously said to us, and on camera he's saying these things to Brother Daniel. That's why I was shocked.
They can't digest that he's come out and praised the scholars of
said, I'm a
Deoband.
fanboy.
He called himself a fanboy. He said that the scholars of Deoband are upon the way of the Salaf. They are following the companions. Let's just get one thing straight. As far as what I have understood, is he's trying to tell everybody we're all upon the Athari Aqidah, as in us Salafiyah who have been shaken by Daniel Haqiqatju's praise of the Deobandis. Don't worry, he's a Salafi. He's using Athari. That's what he's trying to tell
exactly
him.
what he's trying
See,
to
because later on you'll hear, Maulana, okay, when he praised the Deobandis, the Sheikh, the old man, and himself, they were receiving countless phone calls. He says it towards the end. They were receiving countless phone calls. So obviously people have been shaken, people didn't like it, or people were confused. So he's trying to tell everybody, don't worry, he's a Salafi. I can guarantee you he is the Salafi that you are. The two sheikhs sitting here, brother Daniel Haqiqatju is not the Salafi that they are.
So what you've sat him there for, you've just proven the opposite in this video.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, because he's questioning you.
Yeah.
Basically, and not only that, Maulana, second point, Brother Daniel is making clear you're different and he's different because he's saying those who you're claiming are you're representing or your seniors,
they've got differences. And he specifically chose that word Athari because he knew if I say Salafi, Brother Daniel Haqiqatju would have a problem with calling himself a Salafi. So he specifically used the word Athari. Please.
Another point, Maulana. Brother Daniel has, without saying it, he's made clear Athari is different and Salafi is different. Because he acknowledged that he's an Athari. But here he's questioning Salafiyah. Which means he's not part of Salafiyah. You're saying you're all Athari, brother, you've said Athari, like Maulana Abdul Halim mentioned, because you knew that he will not agree to the word Salafi.
And that would cause another huge problem for him.
Yep. So, I was going to mention, Maulana, that they practice taqiyya. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Look, this is a form of taqiyya. Hiding behind other names. Yeah, hiding behind, like the Shia Rafida do that. Many Shia Rafida have told many people, in general gatherings, that I'm Barelwi.
Yeah,
they'll do that. So look, he's saying, I'm Athari. It's a toned down word. Or many a time they'll use, I'm Hanbali in Aqidah. They're not real Hanbali. They're not real Athari. Brother Daniel is not a Salafi and he's made that clear.
He follows the Quran and Sunnah based on the understanding of the first three generations.
Repeat after me, please. I am Daniel Haqiqatju.
I am Daniel Haqiqatju.
Follow the Quran and Sunnah.
I follow the Quran and Sunnah, inshallah.
Based on the understanding of the first three great generations of Muslims.
Based on the understanding of the first three generations of Muslims.
He is on the manhaj. He's on the manhaj.
I think that it missed the aim. They aimed, but they missed the target. I think it was. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm sad. I warned them. I advised them. They accepted the advice, but I guess logistically they were not able to do anything about it, and it just went out of control. But Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa asa an takrahu shay'an wa huwa khayrun lakum. Perhaps you might hate something that is good for you. Wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun, at the end of the ayah, and Allah knows and you know not. I am glad it happened because nobody now has any second doubts about where Daniel stands. It's clear now. Everybody knows what's up.
Take, into consideration your dad's name is Al-Farooq. Yeah? Farooq is the one who basically differentiates and draws the line between haqq and batil.
Lovely brothers. You gotta love these Deobandi brothers. I love them so much in a way that others may not understand. Not the Daniel love to the Deobandis, definitely. A sarcastic one, I would say. Daniel genuinely loves them, by the way.
He said, I'm a fanboy.
They're the greatest in the ummah, mashallah, tabarakallah. Real athari.
I've said very clearly that I follow athari aqidah.
They practice taqiyya. Have you noticed? Yeah. Look, this is a form of taqiyya. Hiding behind other names.
Other names.
Yeah, hiding behind. Like the Shia Rafida do that. So look, he's saying, athari. It's toned down. It's a toned down word. They're not real athari.
He called himself a fanboy. He said that the scholars of Deoband are upon the way of the Salaf. They are following the companions.
Brother Daniel is not a Salafi and he's made that clear.
يا أخي حفظك الله هذا رجل واضح الخوارج الصوفية أيضا مثل هذا أمره واضح جدا.
الدين النصيحة.
فيا إخواني اعتنوا بعقيدتكم، اعرفوا مذهب أهل السنة والجماعة ومنهجهم، حتى إذا سمعتم مدرسا واعظا خطيبا مسؤولا كاتبا أو متكلم متحدث بوسيلة إعلامية بأنواع الوسائل هذه، تعرفون هل هو موافق لأهل السنة والجماعة أو مخالف. ولن تعرفوا إلا إذا ألممتم بأصول اعتقاد أهل السنة والجماعة وبمنهاجهم، ولا تركم على خطأ. والزمن زمن فتنة، يصبح الرجل مؤمنا ويمسي كافرا، ويمسي مؤمنا كافرا، مؤمنا ويصبح كافرا، يبيع دينه بعرض من الدنيا. لا تقول هذا تشاؤم. قال هذا الحسن البصري رحمه الله قال والله لقد رأيناهم يبيع أحدهم دينه بثمن العنز، بثمن العنز. فكيف إذا صار على هذا دنيا ومديح وإطراء ووظائف وغير ذلك، كيف يكون هذا؟ تكون فتنة أشد.